It's Dracky! And today, Dracky and I are going to talk about the future units upcoming the next 3 months in Dragon Quest. Stay tuned, and I hope to at least give you an idea of what to expect in the near and, well, kind of near future. Dracky! I'm just going to give an overall review. I'm going to be honest, most of these units are great, but not going to be super meta defining. So going to probably save most for free to play. I suggest that we're going to save up for anniversary pulls. Those tend to have more value, and you can kind of pick and choose where you're going from here on out. When I made this video, I was going to include Boy Terry. Boy Terry just came out, or Young Terry, I should say. He was by far the best out of all of them, but we'll just go on through. Next character here is Sagittar. He is going to be a very interesting unit. Inorganic fighting unit increases inorganic attack by 20%. You're going to notice that he has some pretty wide skills, and they actually do damage 4 times on all enemies. He is great to go against Sorrow because of this, and the reason is he hits fairly hard. His Thunder Blow can hit zap damage really, really hard, but most importantly, with the 4 damage, yeah, they're somewhat weak. He is not the fastest unit, but if you can weaken Sorrow enough, Sagittarius should be able to take him out with one of these 2 skills. Um, the nice thing about Sagittarius is he gets agility and movement bonus at the start of even turns. And this is the start, and until the 10th turn. So he doesn't quite ramp up as fast as Sorrow, but he's pretty good against Sorrow with the agility increase and so forth. Doesn't quite have the attack power though, and so that's why I still think Sorrow's obviously better, but Sagittar is a really good counter for that. And on top of that, too, Sagittar just has really, really nice overall length of damage. You could see because the pyramid's going to be actually going to be coming up more and more in the future. He's the first one, but he's got very good range. This is not random; it is 4 damage on all enemies, and with the third one, he can also stun enemies and has an even a higher crit rate at 5. But all in all, still a very good unit. And most of these are in the A and S range. A lot of these units are going to be kind of counters to the all big ones. So heavy arena users might be getting some more of these throughout. For PvE, they have some use as well, but generally, all in all, I would call a lot of these units PvP based, uh, except for, of course, Diamond Slime. Diamond Slime is the next one. Very, very interesting unit. One of the things I will say is this is our first really powerful S defense unit that has selflessness overall. Um, Forest Dragon is kind of our other defense unit, but doesn't really have the selflessness. Instead, causes can allow you to have some reduction in damage. Diamond Slime can do both. The only thing is unless if you kind of pull back just a little bit, you won't be able to use Diamond Armor very much. But Diamond Armor is a very, very powerful defense and spell resistance. Diamond Slime reduces a lot of its damage and has very little things that can actually affect it, as you'd expect. Its Awakening skill +1 is the movement +1, which is great. You are just going to be using this for selflessness, so for the most part, unless if like Diamond Cannon, you really need to defeat something or do something else. It does do some good spell damage. As you can see, all attribute resistance +5 gets up to 60% for pretty much every attribute. And even more importantly, if you get it to third awakening, it can actually assist attack while being selflessness. And this is where it actually really shines. Sorry, Diamond Shine. Ha 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 ha. But Diamond Slime is a very, very, very great overall defense unit. Um, I might actually go for two. I know I am very slime forward to begin with, but Diamond Slime is very useful for that third awakening. It's very useful before that, but it is a very, very good unit for defensive purposes. Giving it +1 movement gives it 3. Has very high defense. The main issue with Diamond Slime doesn't have a lot of HP, very high defense. Does take some magic damage, but has the ability to, you know, not absorb nearly as much because of that. But non-elemental magic hurts it the most, and also breath skills can hurt it too. Non-elemental, especially. So you need to make sure you get its HP very, very high. But when it comes up, I'll give you more information there. I almost didn't put Stella in here, but Stella is going to be a free unit. So we are getting a free S unit. She has she is theoretically a healer. She has fairy healing. She can greatly recover all HP in an area. Um, but her power, and she actually can be pretty devastatingly powerful too, is that she has, on her very last one, fairy healing effect +5%, increased power and effect of physical skills, or when you recover HP with physical skills. So she can actually really lay down some pretty nice skills overall. This is going to be when we get the next major event. She is going to be the most important unit to rank up for healing, unless if you are need Seraphy or if you have young Terry, just because she does really, really, really well for a free unit and does help out a lot of the people who are missing Seraphy. Um, Seraphy is still superior in my mind to Stella, even though Stella could literally start turning into an absolute monster. Her main issue is she needs MP recovery, which she doesn't have, so she can't last nearly as long. Um, but she does um, really can become a really good attacker overall as well. Very, very good unit for free, and all in all, really like. Um, Barbarus, Dragon. I'm very happy that we're getting Dragon, Leadership, Zam, Breath Damage. Really good Dragon Breath User. I personally think the Leadership effect is the worst part of the unit overall. With Dimensional Dragon on top of Barbarus. And the first awakening skill here, increase attack power and movement 3 turns at start of odd turns. The attack power is good for the Dark Dragon. Does 75% SAM physical damage 4 times, but it's random. So it can be a little annoying to use. The SAM breath damage here, Ruinous Magic, is absolutely insanely powerful. With the third, and if you have the right leadership out there, Barbarus gets even stronger. With when you could drop the HP below 50%, HP will be healed and breath power will increase. And also, 5 has the auto MP recovery. Very powerful breath user. The one thing, though, that's really unique about Barbarus is Darkness Rising power. Very low MP consumption. protects Barbarus with a 15% reduced damage and increased breathing power for 50% for a turn. So basically, what you really do with Barbarus is, especially in very interesting arena, especially if people are weak to um, Sam power, you build it up, use Runus magic, and with that, he just does massive, massive, massive damage. Very good unit as well. And once again, you're going to see me say very good unit, very good unit. All these units are very much in a very solid tier class. The free unit, though, I do think if you focusing on getting that to 5 hearts is really important because it just unlocks a lot of her power. But you're just going to see that there's a lot of great units, and honestly, I think the DPS, other than Sorrow, and that's because he has the guts natural and a good amount of dodge. I liked Eric for his ability to control. There's going to be people that have ideas that they want on the battlefield, and in the next 2 to 3 months, and there's still more coming, trust me, you're going to really see how that there's going to be a lot of different camps on how to play style, especially in PvP. It's going to be a lot more interesting and a lot more challenging as well to go against because of all the differences that are going to be coming. The next unit dragon here is Greygnarl, and I'm only going to say this once because I'm definitely going to butcher this. Zap breath damage. I like and don't like this unit more because the first awakening skill gives the movement +1 and breath power +20. So you always get the breath power, but I think Barbarus is a slightly better one with the plans, but you could go all out with Greygnarl. But once again, we're going to see, we're going to have a dragon, another dragon boost in families. Exciting. I do think it's important for Dragon Quest for dragons to be part of the main thing along with the heroes. Stack breath, non-elemental damage. Great ball causes a frizz, and very high damage breath. And lightning breath does zap breath. So the stats of the unit is not that important. And interesting enough, the 3 hearts great at the third turn does insane damage. There are some units and some bosses that are very weak to Greygnarl on the third turn. The last one is gives the lightning breath even more as well. But all in all, a very solid performer. Doesn't go to the great lengths that Barbarus does, but is more consistent overall. And Corvus, and we're going to actually have the Great Angel Corvus as well. Is going to be one of the next very interesting boss units. Unfortunately, I don't have a great nostalgia for Corvus, unlike a lot of the other bosses, but has very, very interesting abilities here. And I forgot to change his thing here, so I do apologize, but he has a great ability to reduce his damage and cause very, very large spell damage. And to be honest, just to kind of go through this, he is a very strong swoosh spell damage that can also use Psycho Burst to reduce his ability overall. Just consider him the magic version, true magic version of Sorrow for the ability to really pound out. But instead, what you will be doing is the first turn is using Fallen Angel Halo, which will give you a very large damage reduction. You get 3 turns of increased spell power, and then just go all out there. He has uses in PvP, but he is more useful in PvE with that ability to use Fallen Angel Halo. especially if the boss, like the current great boss that we're going through, they're far away. You can use that to protect yourself, power up for 3 turns, and then murder with Psycho Burst and Double Kaswoosh, which does 2 spell damage total. All in all, it's a pretty simple mechanic, but pretty powerful. But Fallen Angel Corvus is dual magus on steroids. The only reason that I don't have, to me, I don't have dual magus higher, or sorry, Fallen Angel Corvus higher, is that dual magus costs 10 points less, which is incredibly important. But Fallen Angel Corvus is incredibly nasty. The dodge rate of 100% for 3 turns is incredible. The 3 hearts is you will, every time it attacks, and let me just tell you, you're just going to be attacking. And then has the ability to increase his physical crit rate as well as with the 5 hearts. Not sure if I am going to have him as my next main target or a unit a little farther down the line, but I do really like Fallen Angel Corvus. The ability to paralyze with high probability allows for a lot of annoyance and actually makes it a lot scarier to fight on defenses. Evil Breath generally will ruin your day. It has very high probability of it sticking, and with that, anyone who is weak or even just nominal against paralyze, you do need to worry greatly about that. And with the 100% dodge rate, you're going to need to use like Sorrow or a mage user to go through this with Corvus. Otherwise, he can Fallen Angel Corvus. I should be very specific. Otherwise, he will ruin your day. Fallen Blow does a very large and interesting. Now you're going to look at it, go, "Oh, this is around." It is not. It is a circle or square, I guess, really around with the middle of the square not hitting. So, it is a new type of AOE. Hits really hard on Elemental 360, and Catastrophe is a 8 times random hitter. Honestly, the thing that about Corvus is the reason why he's not the next Sorrow. That 360 power does hit hard, but I'm not a huge fan of Catastrophe, and Evil Breath might be the one that you actually use the most out of Fallen Angel Corvus. It doesn't do damage, it just paralyzes. I mean, just paralyzed is a very scary thing to go in PvP, and in PvE, units that can be paralyzed, just you take them out of there and you can deal with them later. That's just incredibly huge. As I say, with the 100% dodge rate, you go against physical units in front, send him there, just let him do his thing, and you'll be A-okay. Dark Emperor Godwyn. Very interesting unit. This is a unit that is really going to open up a new way to annoy people in PvP. It creates barrier square. And Evil Trap is something that could be something that you could use to infect trap units. And this is where his power is. And he is very annoying. He is undead. Honestly, this is going to be the first S unit, other than the very beginning of the game, that you're going to go, yay, undead. I got an undead S unit. Blood Moon is interesting. Recovers 20% damage dealt to HP and can lower attack power. And then Evil Death Spear is very long for Zam that could do physical damage on all enemies. Moves up to 5 squares and can reduce skill for 3 turns. This is how you can move him up. But personally, I think you're going to kind of play with the Evil Trap. He does have a reflect barrier with 3 hearts. And when you attack with the 1, when attacked, you can counter if you can counter within a range of 3. So you need to have a unit with 4 range to avoid the evil trap to counter. And that's what's really, really good about Emperor Godwyn. Basically, you want the computer, especially in PvP, to attack it, then use Blood Moon, recover HP, continue on, try to keep him alive. All in all, he is a very interesting unit, but with Corvus right before him, makes me hard to say, yeah, that's what I'm going to be, even though I love the control types. Paralyzed is more my style, along with, other things, but that's a very interesting thing you can do as well. All right, we have Rhapsone here. Reduce enemies' resistance by 25%. He can put an enemy to sleep, which to me is not as powerful as Paralyzed, but people fighting me obviously need to be wary of Paralyzed. Sleep is another good way to at least put an enemy away for a bit. Having a good sleep unit is very important. Roar Storm inflicts large whoosh damage to darkness, inflicts spell damage. Not really all that, and I did not change it here personally, and I will try and update this later. Personally, this is a good unit, but not great. So let's just go on to Killing Machine 3. Yes, we have another Killing Machine. Yes, he does some incredibly interesting things. Yeah, really, really good pure attacker. What I like is actually heavy impact. It does very good damage. It can occasionally stun. As I say, I'd rather paralyze and stun than sleep, but love units when they can do that. Try control. Most important thing in my mind. Shining Shot does some pretty good damage overall. And the Awakening skill. This is a nice unit with the ability to have +1 movement. And on top of it, if we get 3 hearts, you can counter with Pull Screw, which attracts enemies to it by 3 squares. Not exactly a huge fan of the counter, but you can also use it to pull units away, to draw units to you, to kill them, etc. The Killing Machine does have a decent amount of HP overall. And if you get it all the way to 5, really, really improves its speed by, I should say, agility, and have very high Shining Shot. But going to go with Dragon Quest X. There's a very interesting unit that I am going to be very interested in. But all of these are really, really powerful, but they are 3.5 months away. So Princess Anlucia, I probably going to be butchering these. These are just the direct English translations. Never played 10, so I do apologize. But she is the hero. Increases his hero physical power 25%. Very good leadership effect if you have a hero party. She can generate a field, which basically leaves it on the ground, taken by 50, and reduces damage taken by 15% for 3 turns to all of your units that were within this field. She can also make enemies go to sleep and increase their damage being taken. I'm a-okay with sleeping enemies when you can also do other things to them like that. Thunderlight does some very nasty zap spell damage, and the last one has a very high physical damage as well. All of her skills are pretty high up there as well, but her first awakening does increase attack power, skill, and quickness for 3 turns at the start of odd turns at turn 10. You will just see that she has a tension gauge on the third. She'll occasionally get even more powerful. And 5 hearts, she has this very small MP refresh. Very, very good unit. But Demon Anlucia has some really interesting ones as well. She increases spell power of bosses by 25%. She can generate a field that increases damage dealt by 15% for 3 turns, the exact opposite of Princess and Lucia. She can also do Phantom, basically the same thing. She does spell damage, and that occasionally puts enemies to sleep. That is much better than just pure sleep. I do like that because if you put them to sleep, you can go, oh, sweet, I hurt you and put you out to the side for a bit. The Her absolute zero sword does crackle physical damage and draws 1 square. Her magical creation causes great damage to all enemies with a huge range and a nice plus. She is basically the exact same for the awakening skills. Then we go with Hades Nelgel, and I have butchered the daylights out of this. Very good unit. Increased physical power plus 15. She has Magic Bullet, inflicts 185% SAM physical damage. Poison Flame Sickle does very, very high physical frizzle damage. Sorry, physical frizzle damage, and moves them back 2 squares, keeps them away from her. And she has a very good sizzle damage as well, but she has very good dodge rate and damage increase for the first 3 turns. When someone is defeated with the 3 hearts, she gains 200 HP and 50 MP. If you get her to 5 hearts, when someone is defeated, and when I mean someone, one of your units is defeated, you defeat one of the enemy units defeated, she gets these buffs. She gets her agility increased as well. And personally, I find her very, very interesting myself because she becomes even more dangerous, especially if you had a bad roll against you. She could help counter that bad roll. You still will lose some in arena, but she starts rolling down. And in PvE, especially when you have boss battles that just have another round of minions, that really powers her up. And so she has some great uses all the way. There are some other Dragon Quest units that I can go through. I don't have them correct. But all in all, I think the coming up here, I wanted to end on Hades Nagel just because of the fact that she is a very, very powerful unit. This is going to be my next one that I really am thinking of going full out for, even though she does have some weaknesses, but I think she has a lot of power and a lot of unique abilities. But once again, she does kind of need to get up to 5 hearts. I do like the dodge rate. I do like that she can do physical damage, etc. But I hope you guys enjoyed what basically we're going to see here. Probably I'm going to do another month or two to update my slide deck here and to try and keep this going on as much as possible. I hope you guys do enjoy. I will try to keep this updated, as I say, monthly. Bye, everyone, and have a dracky day.